We begin with interrogation. The interrogation protocol. I check you for notes that you don't have. So that's good. I tell you the situation that led to the interrogation. The situation that led to the interrogation is that you left your post and you followed a conglomerate official and a bureaucrat to their place of business for what we could not discern as any legitimate function. I am not using any notes because I did not confiscate any from you and I did not have any available previously that would apply to this. I do not have suspicion points left on you right now after this interrogation. We are now going to engage in a series of value tests. They are related to your corporate values. Conglomerate unity, selflessness, and good thing. We're going to do those backwards. We're going to start with good thing. You are being interrogated to determine how deeply you believe in the conglomerate's manifestation of reality. Is good think good or bad on your sheet?
Good think is good.
You're going to roll over guilt or sadness. I would like for you to justify this at the level of narrative. Are you rolling against good or sadness? Guilt or sadness?
I'm going to roll against guilt.
Why?
I think Or immediately feels guilty for taking that action of leaving their post. They should have trusted the system that they were posted where they were posted and not questioned that and not gone on their own. And now they're feeling guilty for their actions.
What is your guilt right now?
My guilt is a 2.
Please roll 1d6.
I rolled a 5.
Okay, you succeed. You need to increase your anger or your fear. Which will you increase?
I am going to increase my fear, which is going to put it at a 6, which means I get a memory. Correct?
Traumatic memory.
Traumatic memory.
You get a traumatic memory. You get a traumatic memory that is connected to that emotion. So make sure to note that emotion there and describe to me at the level of narrative what this traumatic memory is and how it is connected to this emotion.
I mean, in kind of right in front of me of like I've been brought into an interrogation. I am being personally, deliberately, and thoroughly questioned for my motivations and my actions, and that is traumatizing because 4 is a fairly young person. 4 is 23, and 4, to their knowledge, is kind of doing the best they can, and if that's not good enough, that's terrifying because the consequences of not being good enough is extreme. And that associated emotion is fear. They're terrified.
Selflessness. You were selfish. 4. You followed your curiosity in a way that took you from your post. What did you miss while you were gone? Never put yourself before the conglomerate. Is that good or bad for 4?
That is bad.
You're going to roll under despair or apathy. Which one?
Just to be clear, my fear jumps to 3 once it has been...
Yes, once that 6 is correct. Once that 6 is resolved into a traumatic memory, you reset to 3.
Awesome. Cool.
Thank you.
Well, not awesome. Very not awesome, but we're here. It's bad. So I am going to roll on. I'm gonna roll on despair.
Okay.
I think
What do you have
four.
in despair? Okay.
No, I have a three. I was entered. My character's name is four.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have
Okay.
a three. I have a three in both despair and apathy, but I think four is feeling a lot of things right now, just in this interrogation, just in the process of being questioned in this way. They're just feeling a lot of feelings, um, and despair makes more sense than apathy. So I have to roll. I have to roll under three.
Under three.
I rolled a two. Thank goodness.
Okay. You succeed, and you increase fear or sadness. Which one?
I think I'm gonna increase fear.
Okay.
There's just a lot
What
of
does that
fear
bring
right
fear
now.
to?
Four.
Who led you astray for? Did someone mess with your programming? You should tell me now if someone did this to you. It's not your fault if someone did this to you. You
Four.
understand? And
Sorry. No, please finish.
you understand that if you tell us, we can trust you again.
I think four looks very deer in headlights. Um, they they shake their head very like no, nobody messed with my programming. I just I had a blip, and that's my bad, and I won't do it again. That's not gonna happen again. I've learned, I've grown. I'm not. It's never gonna happen again.
Conglomerate unity is good for four.
Mm-hmm.
So you will roll over fear or anger,
At the level of the narrative, I just got to lean into the fear,
which is a four now, right?
which is a four right now.
So you need a five or a six.
That was a one.
Okay. You have two options, or you will be vaporized.
Mm-hmm.
One, you need to sell someone out, someone specific, another resistance player, a trusted character. You will take an injury, you will turn this failure into a success, and you will not be vaporized. Second option, you can spend a love point that will, on its own, turn a failure into a success, and you will take an injury. Which would you like to do?
I'm gonna spend a love point.
Please mark one love point off. How many do you have left now?
One. I have one left.
You are welcome to describe how you turn this around in any way that you'd like. I have
Mm-hmm.
no control over that. The injury, however, will be a minor injury that I will determine the specific nature of at the level of narrative based on what you tell me next.
Mm-hmm.
And it will increase your stress by one in a way that you cannot decrease without medical assistance. You do not have access to minor injury insurance at your level. You are a bureaucrat level one.
I think I think I
You have you have
do.
you have you have major
Oh,
at
you're so
bureaucrat
right.
level one.
You're so correct.
At bureaucrat level two, you will gain minor injury insurance. Otherwise, this stress will not go away
Mm-hmm.
unless you figure out another way to get it treated. What do you do when you spend this love point to turn this around without having to name a name?
I think four starts rambling fearfully, um, in the way that one who's experiencing a lot of anxiety sometimes will begin to word vomit. Um, and they just start. It is a chaotic compilation of apologies and like begging um and they're like listing off the values that the conglomeration holds to be of the utmost priority, and they're word vomiting in a way that can only be truth, because there's no complex thought behind every subsequent word. It's just they believe truly that they did not intend any sort of harm to the conglomeration. They feel a lot of fear for their safety from the conglomeration, but like in a this is a method to control this person kind of way. And they just keep reiterating that like this will never happen again. They're not going to get caught for this sort of thing again. They've the lesson has been learned. Truly, not even a word is going to be uttered about this. Like they're just the most apologetic possibly, and it's it's just it's just words coming out of their mouth at this point.
4. I believe you. Give me your hand. Holding your index finger on the table, pulls out a small piece of wood, applies that piece of wood with a splintered piece directly atop it, pulls out a hammer, allows you to hold your hand there without restraint. Do you move your hand?
No, I think four is too scared to move without like someone telling them they're allowed to.
Lifts the hammer high, hits in a way that simply drives a fat splinter into this part right here.
Mm-hmm.
You will leave that in for as a reminder of your transgression. Your penance will bring you purpose. The conglomerate before all.
The conglomerate before all.
You are black-bagged and you are brought out and left back at your post. And this interrogation has been survived. Your trust level increases, which allows you to be up for promotion potentially at the end of this day when we reach the
But
sleep phase. Yes.
do I immediately get to spend that if I want to?
You can. If you want to spend it on a class act, I'm absolutely happy for you to spend it right now. This is a spillover, technically, from the last session. So you would be resolving it there. From a functional perspective, yes. You can
Okay.
take an additional class act at your current level.
Okay.
Once you decide what that is, please just let me know.
Yeah, for sure.
With that, we are going to bring in the rest of our group for today. I am not Big Brother right now. Hi, everybody. I'm Danny Mendoza. Danny R. Mendoza everywhere on the internet, but you can find me on Blue Sky and follow me to find updates on my stuff. I am going to introduce you now to my friends, who I like very much, who I respect dearly, who I care for, who I trust. And it's really important to play this game with people that you trust. Because as you can see, it's a tough game. It's an important game. I think that this is an incredibly important game for this time. I love the way that this game is designed. I'm extremely excited to play it with all of the people here. It is not everybody's cup of tea. It is not something that you're going to be in the mood to play or watch all the time. That's entirely okay. You can do that. You can not watch this. You can watch other stuff that we have. You can watch whatever you need. You can think, hey, I want to watch this. And then in the middle of it, be like, you know what? It's a little tough right now. Let me step away. this is built in a way where you can stop in the middle of an episode if it feels like it's too much and pick up the next one if you want. We play this game from a position of hope, right? We do it the same way that we play 10 Candles, that we play all sorts of other anti-authoritarian games. We do it with a lot of safety. We utilize safety tools rigorously and iteratively, and we highly recommend you do the same. And we do this as an expression of our rage, our fury in the face of actual authoritarian horror in real life. And we do this with love for each other as a radical act of defiant hope through art against that real world authoritarianism. So understand that is the intention of everybody here, if I may be so bold as to speak for the group when it comes to that. How you receive it is not in our control. And one more time, if it gets to be too much, it's okay. If you want to stick around, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And I'd like for you to meet the wonderful people to the side of me. I don't know actually what the final layout is going to look like, but I'm going to go in the order that I have here. So it's going to be the reverse order, so we can end with you, Eli. So we're going to go Steve to Austin to Adi to Fish to Eli. Now, what you're going to do to introduce yourselves is you are going to specifically say your name, your pronouns, your character's name, your character's pronouns. You are then going to share one place that we can find you, because although we are going to be adding somewhere around here in the text connected to this video links to everybody's stuff, we are not going to be doing outros where we're doing longer plugs for stuff that's going on, because that's not really a good fit for the game, and we're not going to have time in the time that we have. So you're going to do all that stuff, and then those of you who this is your first episode, so that is Austin, Adi, and Eli, you three are going to give us a quick tour of your character sheet. You are going to tell us where your emotions are numerically at the beginning of the day that we find your character, how your character feels about the corporate and personal values, which are good and which are bad, how stressed your character is in relation to the stress dice mechanic. And you're going to tell us a little bit about their family and friends, the trusted characters that you're starting with. There I just need names, classes, and just the vaguest description. A couple of words is fine, because it's going to be more than enough to go through. If you don't remember all of this when it comes to your turn, that's entirely okay. I said a bunch of stuff right now. Ask me. I will say it again. Steve, please take it away.
I'm Steve, Tall Halfling on the socials. I am playing Calahan. He's a Conglomerate official and very much a company man. We both use he, him. You can find me on tallhalfling.card.co. Why there are two R's, I don't know. Do we want to review trusted?
Yes, please. Just very quickly, you just, in your case, since this is your second episode, just say their names and something that the other people at the table should know about them for them to figure out, hey, I might want to pick them up, or I might want to introduce them to a scene.
Okay. So Calahan's family literally qualifies. His moms, Mama Jan and Mama Barb, whose birthday was yesterday, and his brother Thomas. His other trusted characters are his wife Suzanne. You'll notice she is not family, and a musician friend named Whistler, and a sneaky little guy called Zephyr.
Okay. Thank you so much, Steve. Austin.
Hi, everyone. My name's Austin Baki. I'm also go by the Diabetic DM. My pronouns are he, they. And you can catch me over at Stories Told Again, where if you like this, you'll probably find something that you enjoy with us. I'm playing Martin Clear, a 35-year-old librarian whose pronouns are he, him. His deviation is that he imagines a better world through games. And then you want me to go through. What do you want me to go through again?
Yeah, you're going to hit the emotions. So don't worry about it at all. Just name the 6 emotions and say the number connected to it. You don't need to give more context than that.
All
Name the 3 corporate values and the 8 personal values. All you got to say is good or bad next to each. Tell us what your stress level is at the start, because remind me, your class is?
Probe.
Right. So as a prole, you're going to have stress 1. So you can skip that part. Means that you have no die. But you do have 1 stress because everybody starts with some. And then you're just going to tell us a little bit about your family and friends. Just name, class, and like 1 or 2 words to identify like what the relationship is.
Right. My emotions are anger 2, sadness 2, fear 3, guilt 5, despair 4, and apathy 3. For the corporate values, my good ones are conglomerate loyalty and selflessness, and my bad one is good think. My personal values are might is right is bad, me before you is bad, tell no lies is bad, leave no one behind is good, generosity is rewarded is good, family first is good, silence is violence is good, and strangers bring dangers is bad. Yeah, like we said, I have stress 1, which means that there's no die, and I have 3 trusted characters. There is Donovan, my boss at the library in which I work, who is a 46-year-old prole. Cheryl, a 26-year-old neighbor, and Eric, who is my brother, who is a 34-year-old bureaucrat.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. So next up is going to be Adi. Oh, you're muted, I think.
Hello, people of the internet. I am RDMK. I go by Fab, he, him pronouns because he's a little boring and I prefer being Fab first. You can find me at RDMK on Blue Sky. And I will be here playing Kiash Mudra, who is a 42-year-old prole. He is a janitor who is assigned to Mini Love support. He has anger 4, sadness 5, fear 3, guilt 3, despair 2, apathy 2. His corporate values, conglomerate loyalty is bad, selfness and good think are good. Personal values, might is right, me before you, and tell no lies are bad. Leave no one behind, generosity is rewarded, family first, and silence is violence are good. And the last bad is strangers bring dangers. As a prole, I have 1 stress, so no die there. And as far as trusted characters go, I have 7, including 1 family member. The family member is Maya, my sister, who is 35 and is a bureaucrat. And then I have 6 friends who are Rudra, who is age 45, who is a prole, and Vansi, who is age 40, who is a prole. Maya is, I have a couple of words about them. They are in the HR of the conglomerate. Rudra is he's a manager level prole, and Vansi is a basic prole, such as myself, who is probably works in the library, actually. And Vladimir, who is 39 and a bureaucrat, he works in the PR section. Daniel, who is 42 and who is a prole. I'm not entirely clear what Daniel does because he's ridiculously secretive about it. And I have Mbene, who is 25, and he's the youngest of my friends. He is a prole. He is a technician, and my last friend is named Archie. He's 30 years old, and he is a conglomerate officer. He keeps trying to explain what he does to me, but it flies over my head every time.
I love that. Next up is going to be Fish.
Hello, I'm Fish. You can find me everywhere as Fishfinlee. All my stuff is located at fishfinlee.card.co. Also, not sure why the extra R is there. That's where you can find all of my stuff. I am playing Four, who is basically a walking security camera. Their eye has been replaced with a camera, and their whole job is to process footage and report back to the conglomeration. I gave their whole rundown in the previous session, but the brief overview of their trusted characters is their two family members, 7 and 22, aka 722, are also surveillance units, surveillance assets for the conglomeration, and then they've got some friends that range from prole to conglomerate official to other bureaucrats named Clarice, Winston, Simey, Viola, and Silas, who all work in varying levels for varying levels of the conglomeration.
Perfect. And last and very much not least, Eli.
Hey everybody, it is me, Eli, they, them pronouns. You can find me here on Streaming Rainbow every other Friday in literal Catholic hell. And now I'm here. What's worse? With Oceania, I will be...
I'm so sorry. Catholic hell or fascism? Which is worse?
Which is worse? I don't know. We got a vibe here on Streaming Rainbow. I am going to be playing Kian Jones, a 22-year-old landscape worker. He is a worker. He's a prole 1, first level, and he is a tall, observant, quiet guy who's a little dull around the edges, lanky, a little too skinny, but you know, those food rations, if you can call them that. Kian's family is Iris, who is 24 and also a prole 1. She works in Kian is he, him, male. Iris is other for gender. And she works as an assistant, basically doing dishes, as another prole 1. She works cleaning things up. My other trusted characters are my parents, Bridget and Finn Jones. They are both 43, and they are actually just managers. They're prole 2s, so they didn't rise very high. Unlike my uncle Liam, who is 38, so the younger brother of my father Finn, who is an officer, so a bureaucrat. And those are my people. My stress is 1, so no dice there. And my emotions are, I have a 2 in anger, a 3 in sadness, a 2 in fear, a 3 in guilt, a 4 in despair, and a 5 in apathy. As far as my values, corporate values are conglomerate loyalty and selflessness are good, but groupthink is bad. Personal values, might is right, me before you are both bad. Tell no lies, leave no one behind, generosity is rewarded, family first are good, and silence is violence, and strangers bring dangers are bad.
Love that. Thank you. The superstate of Oceania is not a country. It's one of 5 giant corporate entities that make up the conglomerate. Under the Corporate Responsibility Accord, human rights have been entirely abandoned in favor of shifting, overlapping local markets governed by public wants and corporate productivity. In the Gray City, the skyline is dominated by 4 monumental pyramidal ministries. Minipax, Ministry of Peace, which orchestrates endless warfare to exhaust industrial surplus. Mini-Truth, Ministry of Truth, which manufactures official lies. Mini-Plenty, the Ministry of Plenty, which manages rationing. And Mini-Love, which administers state torture and the prosecution of dissidents. We met Mini-Love just a little bit ago.
Actually, quick follow-up question about that. The
Yeah.
interrogation, was that with like a personification of the AI, or was that with a person?
In the case of what we just went through, A, you can't know for sure. B is your experience of it was with what seemed to be a person.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's a great question. Also, worth noting here above table, before we get fully into it, that everybody here at the table is pretty new to the game, myself included. I've done a lot of work to dig in here. I am currently the one who has the most familiarity with the rules, so I'm going to be doing a lot of facilitation, but there is no GM in this game. I am the Big Brother player. These are the Resistance players. We are both playing 2 different interconnected games. I have control over the ministries, over the thought police, over everything bad that happens to every player character and every trusted character in the game. I have control over all of the devices that exist in the game. Absolute narrative control. However, you all have narrative control over your spheres of influence. Now, help me remember. We have proles. We have a bureaucrat. We have a conglomerate official, right? So you all have a full spread, if you look at your class sheets, of control over everything that is controlled by one of these classes, because we have at least one of each. You have narrative control over what it says at the bottom of the column for your class on your class sheet. Some of that is shared control. So COs and bureaucrats share control over some things. Bureaucrats and proles share control over some things. Proles and COs have exclusive control over some things. Bureaucrats do not. And in all cases, all player characters have control over players, have control over your trusted characters, have control over your resistance character's workplace, and have control over your resistance character's home. I will not be describing anything about those places. You will be describing things about those places. I will be asking you questions about what's this over here? What's that over there? It's not up to me. It's up to you. I will be introducing things using reactions as I see fit whenever I want. Those of you who are not proles have either a D10 if you have 2 stress, or have a D6 if you have 3 stress that you need to roll. You are going to roll that on every act that you take in your action economy. If you get a 1 as a value on that roll, you fumble, and I have to take a reaction that impacts what is going on in the story. I can do that whenever I want, but I don't have to unless you fumble. That said, there is no resolution mechanic in this game. You say you do something and you do it. It just needs to reasonably occur within the context of the narrative, and you do it. What you roll for, other than your stress die, if anything, is simply rolling a value test to determine how well you mask your actual feelings about what is going on in case I'm watching. I roll a lot. You will not know why I'm rolling. You will not know the outcome of my roll. If I am able to do things based on that, I do not have to do them right away. You are never going to have an opportunity to ask me, why did you do that? What happened there? Is it okay? There is nothing checking me other than me. So, Monitoring your every move in this world is the Universe, an inescapable neuromorphic AI digital layer of virtual and augmented reality that serves as the inescapable water all citizens swim in. Now I am very briefly, to ground us in the narrative here, going to be reading out realism, sci-fi, and the limits of player actions, unless anybody has any questions. Okay. Oceania 2084 is meant to be played with the idea of realism at the center of our imagination. Whenever your character does something, imagine the act and consider if it feels like something within their grasp. If it is something that they realistically can do at this moment, they'll do it. If not, maybe consider what would make it possible for them to try to achieve that instead. So it doesn't mean you can't do it. It means you have to do it in component steps. That is how class acts work as well. If you don't have a class act, or you don't have the hope to do a class act that you do have, and you want to do basically that same thing, you still can. You just have to break it up into other component actions that add up to that instead of taking care of it in a single action. The element of sci-fi is found in the world building and the omnipresent nature of Big Brother and the Conglomerate. It is also important to point out that in several parts of the world, this game is portraying reality to varying degrees. This game is a tool to talk about and inform our ideas about what oppression can be, how authoritarianism works, and allowing us to understand it more thoroughly. It is a warning and a call to action, aimed at making sure that we don't allow our real world to fall into the authoritarian dystopia that we are depicting here, at least not any more than it already has. When the players encounter technology that would be considered sci-fi, you should explore the concept through play. In essence, one can say that this is a stark contrast to the regular power fantasy of traditional gaming and leans into social realism and bleak everyday lives. So, when we go into the morning phase, you all are in narrative control. You are going to tell me what it is that you are doing, using up to 3 acts during that morning phase. You do not have to use all 3 acts. You do not need to ask me, can I do this? Because that's not how this works, and I'm not the game master. You simply do it. You explain what you want to do. You do not have to take it 1 act at a time. You can decide, hey, I want to use my 3 acts this way, or I'm not going to use all 3 acts. You can use one of the practical acts, and here I will remind you all, please have the text open, have your handouts open, have your character sheet open, and have your class sheet open. Practical acts on the second page of the PDF for the handouts for players include work, which you can do even when you're not in a work phase, and that will end the current phase that you're in. And wind down, which is a thought crime if you do it during work, but otherwise you can do without it being a thought crime. You can remove a stress by doing it, but it will end the current phase that you are in. You also cannot remove a stress that was derived from an injury. That can only be addressed by healing that injury through medical attention. So Fish, that stress you cannot get rid of by winding down. You can get rid of the other stress that you're carrying and bring it down that way overall, to some degree. Any questions about that? Great. Some principles to keep in mind. True liberation of the world is not possible. There is no grand victory or systemic rescue. You play to explore, not to win. There are no heroes here. You play to witness your character's individuality and spirit under pressure. We are what we leave behind. The world does not care if your character dies. Leaving physical traces of their time here their only legacy. Here I want to point you to the third page of the handouts, where it talks a little bit about notes, and there is a longer explanation in the primary text you're welcome to peruse at your leisure if you have not done so yet. It is worth noting here that the propaganda of the Conglomerate is that paper is bad for the environment, and therefore it is a crime to have paper. However, paper exists in this world, and the reality is the Conglomerate uses that propaganda to make it harder for people to write physical notes because it is easier to monitor your activities when you are discussing things with each other, communicating digitally, right? So you are able to make notes on paper with some kind of writing implement. You're going to have to tell me where you got the paper, what the writing implement is, whatever it is. But you get to just make it true in the action that you take. I have no way of stopping that. You're going to need to keep in mind where you are, and keep in mind that I mentioned I control the devices, which are everywhere. So even though you control your home, there is no part of your home that does not have a device in it. You always have a device on your person. It is mandated. There's a move, an act that you can take that allows you to try to disconnect your device. But whether or not that actually stops it from monitoring you is not up to you. It's up to me, and you're not going to know whether it worked or not. But you're still welcome to try. When you write that note, it is a risk you're taking. Why would you take that risk? Especially when, if you're caught with that note, as I mentioned during this interrogation, you would be in a situation where you might have to take more tests in relation to those notes. And if you don't, I get to save those notes for use in future interrogations, potentially against people who never even had a note on them. The reason why you want to write these notes is because they contain narrative truth. So let's say we end up with a stranger, an NPC that I control, in a scene, and you decide to write a note that says that stranger is sympathetic to your cause and is willing to help you. You sign the note. And then you give the note, this is the important part, to another resistance player or to a trusted character. That doesn't take an act in your action economy. You can just do it anytime. If you do that, it becomes narrative truth. And the next time that stranger comes around, if I'm playing that stranger in a way that doesn't line up with that, you get to say, hey, we have this note. You got to play him that way. And then you spend the note, and it's gone after that point, but you're able to use it. If you hide the note, which is a useful thing to do, you create a hidden cache for somebody else to find. It is a way for that note to be transferred as well. And if you die, and somebody finds those notes, those notes after you've died, every note that was written by you that they find will give them 2 hope, which is an important currency in the game. And I think speaks for itself in terms of what it's meant to communicate. So you may want to do that in the course of what you do, or you may not. That is up to you. But that is what is meant with what we leave behind. That and your social network. Because when your character, notice I say when, not if, is vaporized, the next character that you play will be one of your trusted characters. If you run out of trusted characters, you are out of the campaign. So you are going to want to make, for that and other reasons, as many people as you want, as you can, as you feel is right for you, into your social network formally, by making them family if they're already friends, or making them friends if they are strangers. Now, family does not have to be legal or biological family. It is a level of trust, a level of intimacy. Actual, like, biological and or legal family don't even have to be friends. They can be strangers. Just remember, I play the strangers, everybody else at the table plays the friends and the family, and these are characters that you could end up playing down the line. Because you could end up playing them down the line, it is really important that you understand, even though the text does not say this overtly, it is something that I got to speak with you and the creator of the game about that is fundamentally true. Every stranger can be made into a friend. Every friend can be made into a resistance character. Every resistance character has a deviation. So every person in the entirety of Oceania, be they an asshole or an ally, be they the worst person you've ever met or the best, be they the head of the Ministry of Love or whatever the opposite of that might be, they have a deviation and they can be brought into your network. And that can be a way of making the world a little bit more hopeful and a little bit less controlled. So you can keep that in mind. Friendship and true connection challenge power. I'm sorry, somebody have a question? Okay. To portray dystopia, we do not have to describe every gory detail, and we won't. Physical conflict is rare and brutal. Systemic violence is constant, and it's mostly when the physical violence shows up, you do have an act that you can take with regard to that, and it's risky, but it's there. It's mostly asymmetrical. It's mostly one directional. It's mostly from me to you. Big Brother sees you all the time. Resistance players, you are citizens and dissidents. You go to work, you try to manage your stress, and you try to carve out a meaningful private life. You maintain narrative control over your home, workplace, and trusted characters while role-playing each other's friends and families. I am Big Brother. I am a single player who embodies the hostile fascist state, the thought police every stranger in the world, and I'm not the game master. I play a strategy game of resource management while you are playing a game that is mostly about free play and community. I silently track your actions, I roll hidden surveillance dice, and I spend accumulated points to buy consequences. I have a lot of free ones, also. There are no resolution rolls, you simply succeed. There is a suspicion economy. Every time I roll and succeed, I'm generating through you suspicion points. I roll a hidden dice, add to it your trust level. So that is going to be 5 for those of you who are conglomerate officials, 3 for those of you who are bureaucrats, 1 for those of you who are proles, because none of you are level 2 proles, none of you are level 2 bureaucrats. And I use that to determine if the state's AI or local strangers reported your thought crime, and you do not want me to roll well enough to have it be strangers rather than the AI and your devices. You don't want me to catch you at all, but you really don't want it to be other people. Reactions and value tests. Big Brother spends suspicion to buy predetermined reactions, although again I have some for free, that have a wide variety of effects. You spend hope points to trigger powerful class acts, and you take free acts. And you can face value tests that pit your state-imposed values against your raw emotions, risking traumatic memories and psychological breaks. You can call each other out on needing to take values tests, because there's no GM here. So it's not just me. You also can keep each other honest and yourselves honest. I mentioned the notes before. I'm going to mention a little bit about the city atmosphere. We rolled in the prior session that the city atmosphere is silent, empty, and solemn, but this is a new table and it is a new part of the city. So while it is still silent, empty, and solemn, especially Fish, Steve, for your characters, it is also grandiose, commercial, and private. So it is silent, empty, solemn, grandiose, commercial, and private. And that is how you are experiencing the city today. Word on post-game debriefs. We are going to be cutting the session whenever we need to for time today. So we will not be going, I am sure, through all 6 phases of a day. That is okay. We are going to make sure to do at least a bit of the post-game debrief on camera. You do not have to participate if you don't want to. It is entirely voluntary. It's an invitation, not an expectation. And it is a specific de-rolling procedure for this game. Separately, we will handle privately our stars, sparkles, and wishes asynchronously after the game. Any questions about any of that before we enter the morning phase?
Play and find out.
It is extremely generative. Everything is play and find out. Okay. We enter the morning phase. You are all wherever you are. You could be at your homes or not. That's not up to me. That's up to you. You have up to 3 acts. You do not have to use all 3. You can if you want to. If you have more than 1 stress, if you have 2, you have to roll a d10 for every act you take. If you have 3, you have to roll a d6 for every act you take. Here I'm talking about acts in the formal mechanical sense, right? Who would like to go first?
I
Go
have
ahead.
shenanigans to do.
Do it.
So four wakes up. This sorry, just to make sure I didn't hear incorrectly. We're starting with the morning bit again.
Morning bit again.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. Four wakes up in a very drab room that they live in with their fellow surveillance units. Their mind is drawn immediately to the pulsing pain in their finger from the previous evening's events. They are feeling a lot of fear, processing a lot of fear. I think this is the first time they've really this is the first time for them. I think the terrifying nature of the system they are caught in has really been brought to their direct attention. This is the first time they've really been like face to face with the potential consequences of stepping even a toe out of line. And I think it's enough to make them want to lean into some of the less accepted behaviors, knowing that even just a little bit gets them in trouble. Well then what's the point? Why don't we just all in? And so they wake up and they stare at their ceiling, their mind wanders to their finger, and then I think they're gonna roll over and pretend to go back to sleep and hold their pillow over their eye as they attempt to get up to find their sketchbook.
Okay.
It's gonna get me killed. I know it, but it's fine. I feel like that's search for something.
Yeah, let's do search for something. Describe how your resistance character searches for their current location for something. You can't search for notes. Decide what you are searching for, then roll the search die according to the types below. Very likely, possible, maybe, improbable. Seems somewhere between very likely and possible if it's your own notebook. How well hidden is it?
I mean, it's fairly well hidden, but 4 knows where it is. I think the thing that would make it slightly more difficult would just be the fact that they have to also hold this pillow up to their eye.
So let's call it possible.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Mhm.
1d6.
It's a 1.
That's great, because if you roll a 1, you find exactly what you were searching for. If you roll a 2 or 3, you find something that might be converted into what you were searching for. If you roll the highest number available on the die, you're rolling something goes wrong. All other results, you did not find what you were searching for. And so everybody knows, if it were very likely, it would have been a d4 to roll. Possible is a d6, maybe is a d12, improbable is a d20. So you got a 1. So you found your notebook, but I also need you to roll me another d6 because you're at 3 stress.
That is true. 5.
Okay. So go ahead and describe what you do with this notebook. That would be you walking into your second act, though, because finding it was your first.
Correct. And I get 3 total, right?
Up to 3. You don't
Up
have
to
to use
3.
3.
Is writing a note an action or an act in
Yes.
itself? Okay.
Yes, the actual writing of the note is an act. The hiding of the note would also be an act. Passing a note to somebody else in the scene with you is not an act.
Okay. I think 4 is going to write a note. Addressed to 7, who is one of their family members. And it says something to the effect of and I'll write this down for documentation purposes for the players, but it says something to the effect of I've always cared about the work, but I don't think that matters anymore. And signs it with like a big 4, and then for my third act, I'm gonna hide it and the notebook away.
Okay.
Room.
And you're going to do that trying to keep your eye covered by a pillow?
Yeah, I'm aware of how this sounds.
It's okay. Yep. All right. So you hide something. That's your third act of the morning. So you effectively are able to hide it. If there's anything you'd like to still describe about that before we move on to the next thing, please let me know.
Yeah, narratively, 4 is being very careful. They're using their hand that has the splinter in it to hold their pillow up to their eye because there's not really much else they can do with that hand. And they're being very careful not to move it so as not to jostle any of the footage. And with their other hand, they're trying to very carefully fold this note. But you can only be so dexterous with one arm. And then they take both their little sketchbook notebook looking thing and their note and they stash it away somewhere secret, somewhere safe in this room, somewhere where they'll be able to get to it if they need to, but it's not on them.
Would you call this an apartment?
Yeah, probably like an apartment unit sort of thing.
When you note the contents of this note in our chat for our records, please also note that there is a hidden note cache in 4's apartment.
Okay.
As 4 completes this, breaking news from Mini Packs, brought to you by our boys in blue. Mini Packs has great news to share, friends. Our troops are as heroic as ever. The enemy was beaten back. We are triumphant. We are incredible. Our military is glorious. Our victory is certain. We will forevermore be the greatest power in this world, as we have always been the greatest power in this world. We have always been at war with Eurasia. We will always be at war with Eurasia because Eurasia is terrible, and we will protect all of you from their terror. And there is, yes.
I was just gonna say, narratively, I think the way that this as well as the previous kind of morning announcement made its way to 4 is like a blaring from within their own brain because they're so wired in. And I think it jostles them as they're stashing this note away. Like they kind of jump, and it sort of like brings them back to focus of like this is the world that they live in. And they go lay in bed to pretend to wake up again. As this like blaring message that happens every morning kind of gives them a migraine just from.
Yeah, I think you're going to need to take a value test there, given how jarring that sounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I think that it is going to be might is right, given the message that's going on here.
Also, I'm realizing that I only rolled the d6 once. I need to roll it 2 more times for my.
You'll do the 2 more now. But if it's okay, let's do the value test first, and then we'll do the other 2. Okay. So might is right is good or bad for 4?
Might is right is bad.
Okay, so you are going to need to roll under despair or guilt. Which one's it going to be?
I'm going to roll under despair.
Go for it.
Which is at a 3 right now.
Okay.
4's going to die. I rolled a 5.
Okay, are you going to take stress?
Yeah, I think I am. I think at this point, sure, why not?
You could otherwise fail, and then you just have to have an emotional
I'm
outburst.
Just take the stress. We'll just be at stress 4. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
So these 2, you're still going to be able to roll as a d6 because it was before this, but every act after this, you're going to have to roll a d4 until you get your stress down.
Yeah.
Now, as a reminder, all of the stress but 1 that you have, you can knock down with winding down. As another reminder, winding down during work time is a thought crime.
Right.
So,
right.
What are the results of your 2 individual d6 rolls?
Four is gonna die. I rolled a 6 and a 1.
Great. Before I maybe do something with that 1, we do need to go back. You rolled despair and succeeded by taking stress. You need to increase fear or sadness. Which one?
I'm just gonna increase fear. We're out here. This makes sense.
Okay. Is there anything you'd like to say at the level of the narrative about how that happens?
I think 4 is just feeling a lot of it's just a lot of fear. It's a lot of being terrified that regardless of what they're trying to do or what they do or how much they actually like up till the interrogation yesterday, they wanted to do their job well. That's all they knew, and that got them in trouble. Literally, that got them in trouble. And so they're experienced an influx of fear, and now they're really leaning into it as like a well, then what's the point? And so they're taking on the additional stress to succeed that role, and their fear is going up. But it's like a well, we gotta what's the point in trying that hard if it's going to be bad anyway?
You receive a device alert covering your entire field of vision on the eye that is mechanical. And it lets you know in large lettering that you will receive new supervision at your post when you report today.
Cool.
Who would like to go next?
I'll pick up on that. So one of the things I was doing yesterday was reviewing footage from the ration distribution point, which included force footage. Do I get any kind of a notification that hey, the footage you were looking at yesterday, might be problematic?
Do you?
Kind of assuming that's a Big Brother decision.
Unless
Unless
it has to come from the ministry. The interrogation outcome is from would be coming from the ministry, but I'm not sure that you would have clearance to get that level of information. So my question is, are you checking in on, and this can be an undefined act, this can be work, this can be something else that you can justify it as. Yeah. Are you checking in on what you have access to as a natural process of your work? Or are you looking for information that would normally not be available to you?
Neither, because it wouldn't occur to me to proactively go and look for what happened to the person who shot this footage. Just that's for future use. In the meantime, I think I didn't sleep very well. Not entirely sure why. But I think possibly the message I got yesterday from my brother may have sunk in a little bit. And first thing I'm going to do this morning is call Mama Barb and offer her a belated happy birthday and have a proper conversation, which we've kind of been avoiding for a little while. So
great. Who would like to play? So you're gonna take the action of introducing Mama Barb to the scene, right? Notice someone.
I'm thinking voice call into deep connection.
You can do that, but you still have to bring her into the scene in the action economy.
So okay.
Yeah. You don't have to do the voice call to move, to do that. You could bring her into the scene and she could be physically present with you.
Yeah, if we can do that, that's fine with
That
me.
works.
Yeah.
100%. Who would like to play? You said Mama Barb, right? No,
Yeah.
Mama Jean?
I
Right.
think
Or
so.
Jan, sorry. Yeah, so who would like to play Mama Barb? Yeah, go for it, Adi. I need, sorry, Steve, before that happens, I need you to roll, you're at 2 stress, right?
Yes.
3. I'm sorry, you're at 3, or did you bring
I'm
it
at
down to
2.
2
I
last? You're
brought
at 2,
it
you
down
brought
yesterday.
it down. Yeah, so please 1d10.
Yep, that's a 9.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to get into that scene if you want with the deep connection, which I assume is going to happen in the nature of the scene. Go ahead and roll me the 1d10 for that as well. Yeah.
Almost, but it's a 2, so it's okay.
Okay, take it away, the two of you, and you have one more act available to you, a third one if you want it. You don't have to have it. Go ahead.
Could you give me just a little context for who Mama Barb is?
She's 48. She's a level 2 prol. I'd love to tell you what she does for a living, but I'm not sure Calahan actually knows. He is ironically he has family first as a good value. He doesn't necessarily live up to that.
Would you say to her being the sous chef of one of the prole mess halls, the corporate mess halls?
That makes sense.
Here's the great news also, and this is part of like learning the game together. While you have narrative control over that trusted character, Adi, you are fully able to make creative decisions about the character as well. I think it is good like behavior at the table for everybody to coordinate in the way that you're doing it. But just so you know, to be clear from a rules perspective, Steve has just passed the baton to you with that trusted character. That trusted character is now fully in your control. Everything that you do is canonical, and then you will pass the baton back to Steve and on to whoever else might play them next.
Fair enough. I just like indulging in some psychometry, getting some feelings from the baton that has been passed.
Yeah.
So, yeah. These calls would have caller ID, etc. So I would know who is calling me, right?
Yeah.
I let the call ring for just a little longer than it should because I am irritated. Yeah.
I think after letting it ring a little bit longer, when the click or beep or whatever comes that the line is being picked up, he's assuming that you're like answering a service or something, and he I was already launching into it. I'm sorry I couldn't call you yesterday, and he's going to be kind of surprised when he's actually talking to a human being.
Once you've kind of started rambling, there's just going to be a pause because there is no recording. This is Mama. Now you call me.
I was gonna call you yesterday afternoon, and there was the mandatory rally for everybody. Can't do anything about that.
Hmm. That's what everyone says to Mama when they don't need her. But when everyone needs Mama, they come to her.
I suppose I'm reaching out. That should count for something.
For big shot Mr. Waters, that might definitely seem like a big thing. But Mama expects little more. Hmm.
You want me to send you something?
This child. No, I'm not going to make it easy for you. You decide what you need to do. You are big CO man. You are handling far bigger responsibilities than dealing with a little old lady like me.
I did decide what I had to do. I gave you a call and took the time to chat. But apparently that's not good enough.
Well, it was not me who missed somebody's birthday.
I send you a text.
Fine, I'm not going to make it too difficult for you, Calahan. You take some time off when you have it and come visit me down here. I've not seen your face in a bit.
I'll see what I can do.
That is all that can be expected and all that is needed. Thank you for calling. How is your wife? Is everything going okay?
It's fine.
Mama has heard that it's fine far too many times, Mr. Waters.
Yeah, you would definitely know this is very much like an arranged marriage kind of thing. The joys of the conglomerate life, where they say you two. See if I can send you something. It's good to hear your voice.
It's good to hear from you as well.
And actions are limited to 10 minutes, so I think that's probably as far
That's
as
about it. That is about as far as you get. You did achieve what you went out to do, which is a deep connection. This is with a trusted character, so you gain 1 hope. Yes. Before you take your next action, you hear the same morning news that I described before, propagandizing for mini packs.
Okay. Where is this?
If you want some time,
Nope.
If you want some time,
nope,
you can
nope.
think. Okay.
At the end of the last session, I had gotten a credit for 1 additional class act. Going to spend the hope I just got from Mom to allocate funds and resources and send a little bit of extra rations to Mom and her the kitchen where she works.
What kind of rations?
A little more of whatever it is that they usually have. So nothing special, not like sending a birthday cake or anything, just a little more because they're getting a little less.
Baz food, not Nutrifood.
Sure.
Rations are available in the book and also to see at the bottom of the third page of the PDF of handouts.
Okay.
And as a reminder from last session, Nutrifood was placed by Miniplenty under additional rationing.
Okay.
You are, as a Conglomerate official, able to access Nutrifood, Lux Food, and Bass Food. As a prole, your mamas are only allowed to have Bass Food, and if they were found possessing anything other than Bass Food, it would not be good for them.
Yeah. Well, it already in trouble for not calling. I don't want to get in more trouble for getting her arrested. So just a little bit more of what they would normally have, so bellies can be a little bit fuller.
Okay. Could you read out the class act for us so that we know mechanically exactly what it does?
Sure. Allocate funds and resources. You describe how your resistance character gives someone access to a higher grade of rationing than their current trust level allows. Cost 1 hope. Choose another character that gets access to 1 extra level of rations.
Okay. So you actually, with that, can give her Lux Food or Nutrifood. And you would be able to do that in a way that you normally can't. Is there anything else noted in there in terms of thought crimes or roles? And is this a resistance act, or is this not a resistance?
It is not labeled as a resistance act, and there's nothing else, just costs 1 hope.
Perfect. So, with that having been said, since it does formally let you give them above their usual station, do you send Lux Food or Nutrifood, or is it still Bass Food?
Okay, it says it gives them access. Does that mean that they are allowed to have?
In that case, yes. Through the expenditure of this move,
Okay.
of this act, yes, you can.
Okay. In which case, okay, so send them something a little bit special. Sure.
Lux Food, then.
Sure.
Okay. That is your morning.
Mm-hmm.
Who's next? Sure, Adi.
Kiash Mudra wakes up somewhere in the prole quarters in his little flat. It's a tiny 1 BHK, probably very open floor. As he kind of ambles off his bed, he kind of there's no window in this room. This is one of the inner rooms, not one of the outer rooms. He will look at the calendar and he will kind of, there is just there's a small stumble as the sadness in his entirety of his being just becomes just all that much more apparent. This is a man who is going through severe depression. And even though he's a janitor outside in his professional space, which is kept clean, his interior, his space is a mess. Um, Clothes all over the place, some old food uh, packets, the silver aluminum wrappers of bass food that are crumpled and all over, and clothes strewn over the place. And but it's not only depression, because in this bedlam, uh, maybe some cameras are covered, and there are maybe there's a method to his madness. You're not entirely sure. But the first thing that he will do is go to a corner of the room where there is a table. A small holder rests, and there is ash that is in the corner. He is going to take out a stick of incense from a drawer, and he's going to light it, and he's going to put it in the holder, because today is should have been an important day, but it is a day for someone who was never here. And with that memory in his mind of someone who should have been here, he starts mumbling into a song of "Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you." And he will make a small prayer motion, and look up at the ceiling through his tears, wipe them away. Uh, he is going to very quickly start. So I have three actions, right?
You do, but I have a couple of questions. One is, whose birthday?
Uh, to remember him would be a thought crime.
Second is, are these intended to be the forms of remembrance that align with the religion that the conglomerate allows? Some form of religious expression that the conglomerate allows? The incense, the hand gesture.
I
Is
mean,
that
he's
aligned?
bought it. He has definitely bought it from an approved store, like the incense, 100%. Uh, he's skirting the edges. Uh, yeah, but definitely,
Okay.
I think it would have been this thing. But to give you further clarification for the person to mention full name or think of more than what he is forced to restrain himself to, uh, it was his son Kian who
Mhm.
was vaporized 12 years ago at the young age of 10, and this is his birthday.
So there's a window in the room you're in? Is that accurate to say?
I had said this is an interior room, so
Interior room. Okay.
yeah, like in the
You
middle of the building,
hear,
like kind of scene.
understood. You hear a sound in the ceiling. And do you look up?
I do. I will. I won't look up. I will kind of try and make my way to the kitchen that I
Mhm.
have. I would imagine that I would have a small, extremely small kitchenette
Mhm.
with like an oven, maybe. Um, so, but yeah, walking towards the kitchenette, I do kind of try and look up.
Okay. Uh, are you going to try to use an act, let's say search for something?
Mm, yeah, I mean, if this has become a new thing to kind of consider, yeah, definitely.
This is going to be a maybe, so I would need you to roll 1d12, and just to make sure we're fully clear on this, if you roll a 1, you find exactly what you're searching for. If you roll a 2 or 3, you find something that might be converted into what you're searching for. If you roll a 12, something goes wrong. If you roll anything else, nothing happens. If you want to take this act, you only have one stress, so you don't need to roll any stress dice on this. Um, you're trying, if I understand it correctly, to understand what caused the noise in the ceiling. Is that correct?
Hmm.
Would you like to take the act and roll 1d12?
But that would remove from the actions that I have left, right?
It would be one of the 3 that you have available, yes. Up to 3.
Mm. You know what? Let's do it because we do live in this reality, uh, and the best laid plans and all of that. Uh, I rolled a 5.
Okay. So nothing happens. You don't see anything. What would you
Okay.
like to do next?
Um, this is not necessarily an action, or maybe this might be an undefined action, I guess. Uh, uh, he is. Oh, wait. So two. Oh, god damn it. Okay. To enter into work mode is also an action, is it?
Yes, and it ends the current phase you're in. So if you decide to work, you forego your third action, unless it is the third action you take. Same goes for leisure time, like for winding down. If you wind down during work, it's a thought crime. If you wind down during morning, lunch, or leisure time, it is not a thought crime, but it does end that phase. It will take the one stress that you have away.
I'm gonna
But
say something just because I think this may be a point that may affect what you choose to do. We are currently in like the morning leisure time. Work time has yet to
mm,
begin.
Yeah.
perfect, perfect. Then, because I was just wondering, my next question was like, so do we have to go to work in the morning, or like when is
No,
assigned
you
work time?
actually. So those are two separate questions. I will answer both. Uh, you do not, and I'm sorry, I also want to remind everyone here because I don't believe I said it outright in this session, although you all were given this information ahead of time. The banned word that is currently in play is share. So if you say share above table or at the level of the fiction, it does not matter, it is a thought crime. Uh, your question. You are able to go to work during your work time if you want. You do not have to go to work. Meaning, the game does not say you have to go to work during work time. If you don't go to work during work time, I will notice. You are expected to go there during work time. Typically, what I've seen players do so far is they will either take an action in the morning to go to work and then be there by the time work time begins, or they will take the first action during work time or an action during work time, if not the first one, to go to work. Especially since you've never been to work so far, because this is your first session in the campaign, you have to use the act that allows you to go somewhere to create your workplace in the world. Once it exists, that is no longer true in the same way. But specifically, you're part of the workplace. You can't create like the whole building. You've got to be like where you work. If you go somewhere else in the building, you still got to go somewhere. That kind of thing.
Okay. I'd like to then maybe do an undefined act,
Okay.
because I am trying to assemble some sort of a cake, but like this is done through like entirely using bass food. Uh, Maybe some like the equivalent of graham crackers and like some sweet molasses and maybe some uh, uh, like cream or whatever, like the most basic kinds. He's trying to assemble a cake which he will
Mm.
put into the oven and wait for it to be done to see if he can make the cake.
Yeah, that's an undefined act. I am fully able to set that up in 10 minutes, right? It won't be done in 10 minutes, but you can set that all up in 10 minutes. And I am going to say, I think you should do a personal value test there to see if your
Okay.
mask slips. You're making a cake for your dead child on their birthday. A dead child you're not supposed to admit existed. So this is. I was going to say this is family first, but actually, I think this is silence is violence. What is silence is violence for you? Good or bad?
Silence is violence is good for me.
So you need to roll over anger or despair. What are you feeling in this moment? Anger or despair?
Despair.
What is your despair?
2.
You need to roll over 2. So please roll 1d6.
Oh, 6.
That's fine. You need to increase fear or sadness. Which one?
I will increase my fear.
Why? At the level of the fiction, I mean, you're welcome above table to make the decision, but how does this manifest in the narrative?
The scrambling in the ceiling, and I am usually not someone who is important enough to have surveillance, but I have heard things and I am scared.
You have one more act if you want it, but before that happens, the same propaganda in favor of the military, the same mini packs messaging blares through every device in this space. And you can hear it through the walls of the other prole quarters that the same is going on there. What would you like to do?
Um, I think the last act of this my morning would be as I've set the cake to bake, and I have I'm about to go into my shower, but before I do that, I will send a text message.
Up to 20 words. What would you like to
Yeah,
say? And to whom?
I would like to send a text message to my young friend Kian, Um, let's meet up after work if you're free. Uh, I have a gift for you.
And that ends your morning. Kian?
Kian starts his morning in a closet of an apartment. It is a studio is too grand a word for what the living situation of this young man is. Like he could probably lay and have his feet and hands touch each side of each wall. So the morning starts and he lays in bed staring at the ceiling. There's not really any room to do anything else, so he lays there and listens to the announcement. Hears this phone go off, or his device go off, and looks at it and responds back. So one of my acts will be text message, so sending back. And to Kiash, he will say, "Good morning. Yes, that would be good. But no gifts are needed. See you later." And
Right.
once that's done, he gets up, takes his mandatory medicine, has barely, I mean, he's not big on food. He's not ever very hungry. It's kind of a side effect of the very helpful medication that he is on. So he has some like it says oatmeal on the box, but he's not entirely sure that oats have ever seen whatever this is. But it's fine. He eats it. Silence. Dull. Quiet. Kind of the echoes of other life in other rooms, in other units. This is a very tightly packed place. Gets ready for his day, and I think unless anything I've said is an act, I think his last act is going to be go somewhere, which is he's going to go to work. Because that's how he starts his day.
Yeah, all of that could theoretically fall under some sort of act, but unless you're trying to do something specific, I didn't see anything in there that would require a value test, in my view, in relation to an undefined act. And you have the action economy overall. You can absolutely go somewhere. Keep in mind that characters present of sufficient trust level may invent and or describe a new location with a security level of up to your current trust level. So you can only go somewhere in that way that has not yet been introduced if it is under your narrative control. And as a prole, what is under your narrative control are public prole quarters and impoverished places. So where do you go?
This is so his job is landscape worker is, it's not like he's the one like designing the landscaping. He's the one who's hauling shit. He's clearing out things and just sweating and under the hot sun, and just especially in this corporate commercial area of the city that we're in. He is there to make sure that it looks perfect. He is part of the team to get rid of any nature that is encroaching to disrupt the aesthetic of this part of the city. So would that fall under workplace if he's going to a site to, because I do have
Yeah,
control over my workplace. Okay.
it would. Yeah.
So he has his only transportation is just for work. So he's got basically a scooter with a milk crate on the back of it, full of his badly banged up, getting rusty materials that he uses to do his job. And he gets on the scooter and heads off, taking back roads so as not to be in the way of the more fancy traffic of those higher above him. Basically taking the back entrance of life at this point, and goes to the office set of office buildings that he is assigned to work at for the day. Um, towering buildings with perfectly curated garden planters and like places to sit, so people on their leisure time can go and sit in nature, if that's what we want to call it. So he goes to this little leisure area outside this group of office buildings and starts cleaning up.
Perfect. You won't need to actually do the work action till the next phase if you want to do that. That's your morning.
This
Austin.
is nature trademarked.
Nature TM, yes. It's about as natural as bass food is food, right? Austin.
Martin Clear wakes up in his father's home. He hasn't seen his father since he was very young, and the house is basically all that's left. First thing that he does, as he does every morning, is that he reaches underneath the bed into a hole in the floorboards to check that 2 paper books are still there. He then begins to get ready for work, showers, brushes his teeth, looks in the mirror at his bulbous nose and his deep frown. But before he leaves for work fully, he needs to head over to his next door neighbor's house for a minute to ask her for a small favor.
Okay. I'm going to need 2 actions to get that done. One is going to be go somewhere. You have to establish her place. And then notice someone. You're going to be introducing this person. Is this person a trusted character, or is this person a stranger?
Okay. It's a trusted character.
Who is the trusted character?
Cheryl.
While you are describing that, setting up Cheryl's place and introducing Cheryl to the scene, I would like everyone else to think about who would like to play Cheryl so that you're ready to volunteer for that when we get to that moment. Please go ahead and describe.
The small stretch of relatively featureless houses Cheryl's house is quite literally just 20 feet next to mine. Has almost no ornamentation whatsoever, except for the small shrubs out front.
Okay. And it seems that we have a Cheryl. Do we?
We have a share.
What would you like to share first, Austin? Noticing someone, introducing Cheryl to the scene, and then passing the baton to Eli to play Cheryl with you.
Hang on, I'm looking up the stuff for notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can read it out for the audience as well. Describe how your character notices a shared character in their current location. You can imagine a new stranger and describe them, or recall a stranger or a trusted character, which is the version you're doing now, that has previously been created. That character is now in the current scene. So it just happens. But since it is your act, you get to introduce them to the scene, and then the player who is going to be playing them will play them for the duration of the scene, including anything else that you want to do with them, which may itself constitute the third act of your morning.
Cheryl is a 26-year-old woman. She has been my neighbor basically for as long as I can remember. I think that she works in a packaging plant in the town for fast food.
Mm.
And every once in a while, she basically just helps water my plants, things like that. Or at least we say that she does. It's for a cover of what the small secret that we share.
Before you get into the scene, and it's okay if you don't have an answer for this, do you have an act in mind for this conversation? To give context, and it's okay if the answer is no. I mean, it could be an undefined act, but you could, for example, be going for a deep connection, engage in deep, vulnerable, heartfelt conversation or activity with another character. The table collectively decides whether this is true or not. And if this is done with a trusted character, which it would be here, you would gain 1 hope. You could. Cheryl is a friend, not family, or is family?
Cheryl is a friend.
Is a friend. So you could also do extroverted romance / affection, which does not have to be romantic affection. It could be entirely unromantic affection. Describe, or it could be romantic if you want, as long as everybody's consenting enthusiastically. Describe how your resistance character shows affection and love toward a shared character that they are not in a family relationship with. You would have to take 3 value tests. If any fail, then the other becomes hostile, and if they were a friend, they revert to being a stranger, so you would lose them as a backup character, and Eli would have to hand them off to me and stop playing them. But if you're successful, you gain 2 love and may add them, since they are already a friend, as a family member. And to be clear, once a trusted character is a family member, mechanically, I never get them again. They can never revert to my control. I could kill them or turn them, but I can't control them. So those are 2 options. You could do any number of other things, or maybe you don't know yet. But I did want to ask going in if you had anything in mind.
My current plan was to establish a deep connection. As me asking for this favor is just a way for me to basically send along information that the next act is ready.
Love that. take it away. And since this is a trusted character, know already. This is your third act. This will be the end of your morning, which will be the end of everyone's morning and take us into work. Once this 10-minute or so interaction in story time is done, you will gain 1 hope. So you can add that to your sheet. Take it away.
Okay. Hi, Cheryl. Sorry to bother you as you're probably getting ready to go to work. I'm going to be a bit late today at the archive, and I was hoping that you could water my ficus for me.
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm always happy to help.
I really appreciate that. I always really appreciate your help. You always water it the perfect amount. Eli, above table,
Yeah.
this is basically, we are playing what is effectively like a tabletop game through hidden missives, and I'm basically telling her that my next like response to the thing that she did is ready and is literally hiding in that ficus.
Well, ficuses are just so particular. So I've learned to be very good at watering them. So I'm just really glad that I can help you with that.
You always have been. If fast foods, for whatever reason, no longer needs you, you could look into tending plants for the higher ups, or something similar.
Can you imagine? What a job to have.
Well, maybe someday maybe someday you will earn the trust in order to do so.
I can only hope. That is the goal.
I think that I just say thank you and I turn, but just before I do, I just like give like a small squeeze on like the arm, just like some sort of affection, some microscopic way to just say, like I am trusted, like I am trustworthy, and basically I've known you my whole life. Just hopefully don't screw me over. Although you very clearly haven't. We've been doing this for years.
I think there's a returned squeeze of arms, and a more genuine smile that's actually smaller. Like it's not this kind of like pasted on. She works a line at a packaging plant and it's just like smile, like this big smile, this Starbucks barista smile. But as the arms squeeze, it becomes more natural, and she nods and says, "Have a good day at work."
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I had to work, which I'm 90% sure I'm now going to be late for.
We enter the work phase. Who would like to go? You have up to 6 acts. You do not need to take all 6 acts. And as a note, an example of a thought crime, to be clear, these are not the only thought crimes. These are not even necessarily thought crimes. I decide what's a thought crime. An example in the handouts, you look at it on page 3, bottom right-hand corner, includes being lazy at work as a possible thought crime. You have a work practical act that you can do, and it ends the current phase that you're in. You have up to 6 acts that you can take on in this first of potentially 2 work phases in the day. That's it for context. You all are able, by the way, to do all of your actions in a row or not. You can find ways to interact with each other. If you're in the same place or not, you all have devices. You all have access to the universe, which has everything that a Second Life and social media and phone connections, telecommunications might have.
Mm-hmm.
So, take it away.
I would like to have for so the notice that showed up was like you've got a new supervisor, correct? Something to that effect.
You are going to have new supervision at your work, yes.
Cool. I'm going to Ford's going to head in the direction of where that would be, but is going to try to spot the supervision, like who or what it could possibly be before they get there. I have one of two things that I'm going to do, and I need to know whether I should do which one.
To be clear, I have not yet introduced that stranger.
I would have to notice
to the
someone
scene.
then.
You would have to. I mean, unless or until I bring them into the scene, yes, you would have to notice someone, and then, if I'm hearing you correctly, you would have to observe behavior.
I get 6 total actions, correct?
Up to, yes.
Up to. Okay. So it would be go somewhere, notice someone, observe, assuming that I'm trying to spot them and do the thing. Observe behavior, at which point I would be able to do whatever it is I want to do based on whether or not I clock who they are.
Yes, that's
okay.
Correct.
I'm going to do that.
So here's the great news about you noticing someone to then go into observe behavior. I haven't established this character yet. You can imagine a new stranger and describe them. So why don't you imagine this new supervisor of yours and describe them?
I'm gonna imagine them to be another one of the kind of surveillance assets. I think I basically got sent to be watched over by someone who does my job, but more. Like someone who not only is like installed with a camera, but also is like wired for sound, and also like does more managerial tasks with regards to the surveillance units.
Okay. That person, do you want to give them a name?
I think given their importance, they'd have a name that isn't a number. And in which case, I don't want to be the one to give them their name.
Okay. You don't know their name at this point, then. And you wouldn't, anyhow. So that's fine. They arrive looking clean and in charge and say, extend. And they are asking you to open up a physical interface into your ocular device.
Sure.
You
Forrest, big nervous. Forrest, actually, I think this is gonna be a value test because I think Forrest big nervous.
Okay, the value test would be you're calling it. What do you think the value test is?
I think it's conglomerate unity again.
Okay. Which remind me is good or bad?
It's good.
Okay. So that is going to be roll over, fear, or anger. Which one?
I'm gonna go with anger, because whilst I've been leaning a lot into the fear of it, I think the fear is morphing into kind of rage for this system now, which is a 3.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
I got a 5.
Great. How much stress do you have again?
I have 4. I have 4 stress. I'm at stress level 4.
I need you to roll a 1d4 for me, please.
3.
Okay. So you succeed, and this is, I'm sorry, you said it was anger. So guilt or sadness is going to go up. Which one?
Guilt.
2?
Guilt is going up to 3.
Okay. Please describe how you compose yourself in this moment in a way that increases your guilt. As this person who still has not introduced themselves extends their index finger, out of which pops an interface that goes directly into what has now automatically opened in your ocular socket, allowing for them to connect up directly with your system. It breaks off in a way that it is built to do and stays in there, and now your supervisor sees everything that you see all of the time.
I had a feeling that's where this was going. I had a feeling that's where this was going. And you know what? I should have not done that. I think the way this looks to the way that I hate this affection. I hate this because for all the obvious reasons, having a great time as a player, just to be so clear. I think four has this sequence of emotions, just in quick succession. First is, aw shit, I'm screwed. And then the second wave is, no, we got this. We just gotta pull it together. Just gotta make it through today. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Like we just gotta make it through today, and then we're good. Then we can chill, you know. And then that happens, and then I think they go, ah shit, we're screwed. And I think the way that the four starts fidgeting, I think, with their hands in as like a nervous tick in response, but verbally we'll just go, and you are
in charge of you, and they move to leave.
Cool. I think. Okay, hold on. Was that just notice
Just
someone?
one. That was actually just notice someone.
Okay, I'm going to. We're here. I'm going to observe behavior, and attempt to figure out whomst.
Sure. You do observe behavior. What exactly are you attempting to observe?
I want to know who this person is.
In what way? Like, what are you doing? What is the action that can happen within 10 minutes?
I did not think that far ahead. I don't know that 4 would have thought that far ahead. I think 4 is just trying to see if they can pull up the information on this person.
So you get to define the success. You don't roll for this. Do you pull up the information on this person?
I don't think the system would let me.
It's entirely up to you.
Yeah. So. No. Sorry, I'm saying I don't think is like that's me, the player, kind of brainstorming. But like I don't think the system would let me. I think 4 goes to try to kind of like let me address that file, and the file kind of goes like access not allowed or like access restricted.
I need a 1d4, please.
4. Thank goodness. This D4 knows what's up. That's what this D4 knows is what's up.
You notice in your ocular interface what looks like a floater, and it's hard to tell. Is that like a dead pixel kind of situation? Is that something related to what was just inserted? It's moving around in a way where it feels like you're seeing an after image, but it's very hard to tell what the after image is of. And then it's gone.
For just because I think it got it fell under the radar. I did actually have to go somewhere to go here. So I do have another d4 that I need to roll.
Yeah, go for it.
Four's gonna die! That was a 1.
Okay.
Four's gonna die! I'm here, and I'm not gonna be for much longer.
So, this stranger turns around to you and looks you in the eyes. And when they do, fully silent, they kick you in the shin.
Ow.
To see how you respond.
They
are blank-faced as
are
they do
they
it.
are blank-faced.
It was a very hard kick.
I am going to. I think Forrest staggers back just a little bit from the force of the kick. Like, ow.
I would like a might makes right value test, please.
That's bad. Despair or guilt. So I want to roll under. Both are at a 3. I'm gonna pick despair. I think that's more thematically appropriate right now.
Okay, go ahead.
I got a 2. Passed.
Okay, despair is fear or sadness, which increases, and why?
I'm gonna say sadness increases.
Why? At the level of the narrative,
At the level of the narrative, I think it's just that from a mechanical standpoint, if I were to put fear up 1, that would give me another traumatic memory for fear, and I don't think we're at the point where 4's fear would reset. I don't think that we've hit kind of that marker thematically. But also, I think right now it's just kind of thing after thing after thing of like, I'm just breathing and I'm getting literally kicked in the shins. I'm kind of sad about it because I literally came to my job and they're kicking me in the shins.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is how much do you have left? You've taken 3 work acts, right?
Yeah, I've taken 3 actions. Are they still looking at me?
Yeah, they're just staring.
They're just
at you.
staring
They're
at
not.
me.
That you haven't seen them blink once this entire time.
Well. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look up something because I have a class act that could be helpful right now, but I need to read what it does first.
While you do that, we can come back to you for the rest of your
that would be
acts. Austin, is there anything you'd like to do during work?
I head in to my job, which is strangely enough a library. Primarily full of empty shelves, and the ones that do have books on them are completely covered in dust. Because the last time that someone came in and was able to check out a book, they were arrested before they were able to return it. I go onto a screen and I look for any type of history that needs to be altered or anything that needs to be completely deleted. And I spend most of my day doing that.
Okay, sounds like you are going right to work.
Yes.
Okay, that ends your work phase. We will come back around to 2-minute hate when that comes up. Adi.
I will head to. I will go to my workplace to start off.
Okay, so you're going to go somewhere. You can describe that in any way you'd like.
Given that this is my part of the workplace, right?
Yeah.
I think he would use some form of public transport to move towards the uh, what is it called again? Ministry of Love.
Yes, the Ministry of Love would not be accessible to him directly, but you could work. You could
The
access
support. The
areas
support.
related support.
Yeah. I'll go to the janitorial, like the janitorial office, like of that vicinity, and uh, it's it is one of the fancier. It is in the, like, I would imagine that this place would be in the corporate zone, like the conglomerate zone, right?
Sure.
But his office is very much like a little hole in the wall kind of space, and it. I think he would have a couple of other colleagues and maybe a manager there. I'm guessing. I think I'd imagine that.
Yeah.
He'd uh, express, the usual platitude greetings, good mornings, good day, blah, blah, blah. And he would get his work assignment like a good boy and go to work.
Okay. So that is 2 acts because you go right to work when you get there. And that is work done for you until we reach 2-minute hate. Steve.
Sorry, I had a plan and it just went poof. I think that I'm sorry. I think that conversation with his mom is still lingering in the back of Calahan's head. He's excuse me. He's still focusing on work, but I think he's also paying a little more attention to the people around him in the office. Observing, trying to make some friends in this office where he's been working for quite a while now. He's very good at keeping his head down, but perhaps a little too much. Yeah. Usually his digging into the details of the morning's news, trying to make sure things land properly. I don't think history is his strong suit. So there's probably somebody else who takes care of the make all the chapters where we won wars against Eurasia before and they came to an end. Make those chapters go away. That's I think that seems like a different job to me. Yeah, I don't have specifics in mind. Because I see his workplace as like TV news control room. Huge banks of screens, very impersonal. But there are still people who work there, even if he tends to ignore them. He's paying a little more attention. I don't have particular ideas in mind for who he's meeting in the office, because that part of my brain seems to have shut down for the night.
It sounds like maybe he's gone in and decided to go right to work.
I mean, I think he's doing some observing, some noticing, some befriending. I just don't have details to give you about who those strangers are specifically.
Okay, well, what we can do is this. If you want to, briefly, we don't have to give details. You notice someone which would be a new stranger. Is that accurate?
Mechanically speaking, yeah, he sees this person probably every single freaking day for years, but yes, they are a complete stranger. He has no idea what their name is.
Perfect. And you want to try to observe their behavior, correct?
Yeah.
And you would like to befriend them?
Depending on what I observe, yeah.
Okay. What I can say is you are introducing that person. You don't have to give their name now. They can exist further once we have time to put in their name. You can send that to me. What you observe about them is that they are the kind of worker that you are. They are here as a true believer in Goodthink to ensure that all of the right stories are told the right ways by the right people. Would you like to try to befriend them?
This is not going to be healthy for Calahan, but yeah, I think it would be, I think that's where he is today.
Goodthink is good for Calahan, correct?
Good thing is think is good, yes.
Roll over guilt or sadness. Which one?
Guilt.
Okay, go ahead and roll 1d6. What is your current guilt?
My current guilt is 2, and I rolled a 1.
Okay, so this is your third act here. You already have 3 stress. 2 stress. Sorry, 2 stress.
Yeah.
You're going to need to roll 3 d10s. Tell me if any of them are 1s.
Exactly 1-1.
Great. Are you going to take a stress to succeed on this value test for Goodthink?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, please bump your stress up to 3. Future acts will require a d6 roll. You succeed against, I'm sorry, it was guilt. So anger or fear needs to go up. Which one?
Anger or fear? Gotta be fear, because I don't think, it doesn't make sense to reset anger at this point.
Okay, perfect. So your fear goes up. And your fear goes up because in this moment, this person who you just befriended, who I am going to say is named Barbara, like your mother. Barbara is now one of your friends. You can add them to your trusted characters. Barbara, you are afraid as this happens because Barbara reacts with carelessness and just begins speaking with you openly about the nature of the work. So excited in this moment about that. Having a common topic, an ability to discuss with somebody really what you do, that she gets into it in far too much detail and speaks far too candidly about it, putting you in a position where now to agree with her is to agree that this is manipulative propaganda and is not good to think. What are you going to do?
I really, really, as Steve, do not want to, but Calahan is absolutely a company man. He's going to be doing some reporting when this conversation is over.
Okay. Normally, I would hand over this trusted character to one of you, but for the sake of expediency with time, if you all agree, that conversation has ended. And you are able to take an undefined act, which you don't need to roll anything to do. A values test does not come up. You are doing what you are supposed to do and reporting. What you do have to roll me, there is a d6.
Okay, that is a 6.
Okay. You've used a few of your acts now. Are you going to get to work, or would you like to do anything else?
Yeah, I think I get to work because
Just one more d6, please, for getting to work, and then I'd like to go to you, Eli.
Okay, 5.
And then Fish, I'm going to come back to you after that. 5, perfect. Eli?
Kian is just working around the area, wandering around the area, looking around at things. I would like to use one of my class acts of find materials. And this is I find what appears to be weeds and things of that nature to clean up the landscaping, but are useful things like dandelion root and things of that nature. So a little homeopathy, so I sneakily try
Love
to
that.
find materials.
Oh, okay. So, question. You're using a class act, so you don't have to search for anything. That class act costs how much hope?
It's, oh, let me find it again. Hold on.
No worries.
Too many things. Okay. Where does it say hope? Is that in any of the quick stuff, or is it all in the?
No, it's all in the book, but I will help you find it. So, under the prole section of the book,
Yeah.
which is somewhere around page 58.
It is. I
Um,
believe it is one hope, but let me look.
Copy.
One hope.
One hope. And is there anything else to it? Is it a resistance act?
The act is never considered a thought crime.
Perfect. Then you're all good. Just spend one hope and you do it. And it's done. And you don't have to do anything else to find things or anything. It's all just exactly as you said.
Perfect.
Anything else you'd like to do before you get to work, if you are going to get to work?
I think for right now, just get into work.
Okay, you get to work. Fish, we return to 4.
I as a player have gone through like 5 stages of grief. I'm ready to do whatever 4 is gonna do. Which is in this sequence of events, I am going to do a class act. It is a resistance act. It is at the cost of 1 hope. It is remember things. I describe how my resistance character recalls something forbidden, and I ask Big Brother 3 questions on things that have happened in the past. He has to tell the truth about how it's transpired. I think 4 is trying to dig into their memory to see if they remember anything about who this specific individual was. Or not even about who this specific individual was, but like who 4 was before the whole becoming an asset thing. My specifically my 3 questions are gonna be what was my name? Did I have a family? And what did you do to them?
In that order? Okay. You are allowed to remember your name. I'm not going to tell you what your name is because that's not up to me. You know what your name is. You can decide to share that with us or not. But 4 now knows their true name. At the level of the fiction, arguably with everything that's going on in their brain mechanically, right? Something unlocks. You don't know if this was on purpose or by accident. You don't know if this is a test. You don't know if it's true. Above table, you, Fish, know it's true. Whatever name you give, that is 4's name. 4 did have a family. Are you sure you want me to decide what happened to them?
Such a good question. I can feel in my bones I'm going to regret this, but yes.
Those who tried to stop you from being converted into an asset were vaporized. Those who tried to have it both ways, see if they could toe the party line and get you reassigned, were also vaporized. Those who stood by and did nothing as you were taken are still alive.
Okay.
The one who set you up for use in this manner, put you up for consideration, applied for you, and ensured that you were instated, was promoted.
Okay. Cool. This is gonna go great for me. I hold on, we're gonna roll the stress die for that too. Action number 5. Act number 5. I'm gonna merge the act 5 and 6, if that's okay. I would like like to push this guy away from me and run in the other direction and go and like with the intention of going somewhere deep within prole quarters that I could hide.
Okay, so we're going to do that as violence followed by hide something, you being the something,
Yeah.
right? So you absolutely are doing light violence, if I'm hearing correctly, right?
Yes. I'm not trying to injure them. I'm just trying to dishevel them so I can away.
Great, you can. You don't have to roll for you just made it true by doing that. So that is true. Hide something. You're also just able to do, and you do hide yourself away. Please describe yourself hidden away.
Knowing the situation that is them constantly being surveilled through their eye, as soon as they push this person, they're going to put their hand up to their eye and hold it like that until they can find some sort of like rag or something to tie around their face to keep the visual input from happening. And they're going to try. I think their goal is to get somewhere deep within prole quarters because I feel like they're fairly familiar with prole quarters. In that's where they've been told to supervise often. They know what the place looks like. They know what places off like what where people tend to go when they're trying to like hide stuff or when people are trying to do illicitly trade like rations or something. Like they know kind of all the nooks and crannies because that's what they've been told to supervise their whole life. And so they're gonna find a back alley or like a trash bin or something where they could hide and potentially like scavenge for however much time they need to be immediately safe, like right now. Whether or not that's like a long-term solution is a totally separate question, but like now.
In a trash bin, in a side alley, they are alone. And no one has chased them down. We enter 2-minute hate. 2 minutes of hate, all of you are going to have to make a conglomerate unity value test, so please do that. You get to choose which emotion you want to do that with. All of you have your devices come on, and for you, that means your eye underneath your hand projects onto you a message from Big Brother. Big Brother says, "Everyone, today is a day of glory. Today is a day of peace. Today we and our friends in Eurasia stand firm as we always have against East Asia. East Asia has always been our enemy. East Asia is deplorable. East Asia is everything wrong with our world. East Asia seeks to terrorize us and bring us down. But our friends in Eurasia stand side by side bravely with us as we break down the barriers that East Asia seeks to impose upon us, break off the shackles of what East Asia intends to impose upon us, and make a better tomorrow together today. But you see, there are agents here among us who seek to work our undoing. They look just like us. They could be anyone. And in reality, they are an East Asian agent. Here, someone none of you recognize is brought out. Looks like a bureaucrat, more or less, disheveled in a way that is non-specific. It's clearly been cleaned up a little bit. You see, friends, it is important that we see our enemies clearly. This subhuman creature from East Asia has passed off as one of us for far too long. For our sake, the sake of our safety, of our children, show this East Asian scum what you think of them. How did everyone do on their conglomerate unity value tests?
How
Eli,
does that work
yes.
again?
Yeah, no worries. So on your sheet, you go to Conglomerate Unity. It
Yeah,
is
yeah.
good or bad, and you roll over or under. If it's good, you roll over. If it's bad, you roll under, and you're going to choose either fear or anger to roll over or roll under. So, for example, Adi, for your character, Conglomerate Unity is good or bad.
It's bad.
So you're going to roll under fear or anger. Which one would you like to roll?
I would like to roll under anger, I guess, yeah.
Go ahead and roll under anger and let me know what it is.
That's a 6.
So that is a failure. What did you have for anger now?
I had a 4.
Okay. So as you failed, you are going to need to remove 1 point from any emotion. Lower the value of any emotion. Just pick one that makes sense for this moment. Are you going to take a stress to turn that into a success?
Yeah.
Okay. How much stress did you have? 1, right? So now you'll have 2. So any future acts are going to have to come with a D10 as long as you have that. But you are able to succeed. And now you did that with anger. So you are going to increase guilt or sadness. Which one are you going to increase?
I'm going to increase my sadness. Actually, no, it's sadness or guilt.
Correct.
No, yeah, I think I'm going to increase my sadness, which would make it to a 6.
Okay. You made your way through. I will explain what all of that means as we go. But let's go to Steve next.
That was a 4 success on anger.
Okay. Perfect. So you need to increase guilt or sadness. Which one?
Guilt. Yeah.
Okay. Eli.
I rolled a success on anger.
Guilt or sadness increases.
Guilt.
Fish.
I rolled I rolled on anger and I failed, and so I dropped fear down by 1. No, not fear. That's a lie. Hold on.
And you have max stress, so you can't.
Yeah, I failed.
can't-
I failed on anger, and I didn't realize fear wasn't one of the 2 emotions I could drop by. I dropped guilt down by 1.
Okay. You have an emotional outburst inside of this container. You either have to swear angrily, verbally assaulting, I don't know who because no one's around you right now. You kick or hit some nearby object or physically assault someone. Again, there's nobody around. or you hold a grudge. You blame another for your problems. You choose someone to blame. Your relationship with that person is damaged. Make note of the grudge and the characters involved. You can't really do that because you're alone. So you either have to hit or kick something, or you swear angrily. What are you going to do?
I think I'm going to swear angrily. I'm upset. I'm big upset. And I'm sitting in a trash can with a hand up to my eyeball. A lot of things are going bad for me today.
Yeah. They are.
How does 4 swear?
I mean, they swear like a person swears. I suppose. I fish don't swear, so like it's not like I can really roleplay this moment, but
it's okay. So this failed value test does not remove a point of stress. There are failed value tests that can. Mm-hmm. This one does not. The successful tests for the other 3 of you, you lose yourselves in the rage and frustration of the crowd, finding yourself screaming out your rage at the enemies of Big Brother. Does this challenge any of your values for your characters?
The personal values.
Any of them, really. But yeah. And also how you feel about them as a person, right? So not just how you feel about them on your sheet, but you're more complex than that. Eli.
It definitely challenges, I mean, more than a few of my values, both for Kian and for myself. But strangers bring dangers is bad for me. So screaming obscenities and hate and vitriol at this stranger who I don't know this person. I don't know what's actually going on. That definitely challenges my thing. But also might is right. And that's bad. That's a bad for me. So, and this is a show, like this is literally a show of mass bullying.
Right.
And the might of Big Brother is how they can gather all of these people together to just be awful.
Absolutely. Anybody else?
Same. Multiple values are being trodden over, I think, for Kiash. The might is right. Me before you. Tell no lies. Yeah, these are all things that stand against what he stands for.
Steve?
Trying to decide between tell no lies and silence is violence. Not so much because, you know, ranting challenges his values so much as I just spent my entire workday trying to bring everything in line with these guys are the enemies we've always been at war with, and now they're our friends and always have been. And I think that's what's grating on him. I think tell no lies is probably closer.
Okay. The rest of the day is dedicated to a military parade with a variety of speeches, mostly delivered by Big Brother, some with key figures, including one honored guest from from Eurasia, who shares the stage with Big Brother, seemingly in person. It's a big deal. So the rest of your day is spent on that, and we go to sleep. What happens then is another banned word is added to the banned word list. The word banned is banned.
Mhm.
There is also an offer for promotion, again, for Calahan. You are able to take another class act. And for your container is picked up and it is moved, and when it's opened, you're in room 101.
Joy,
You've been brought in for interrogation.
joy.
And that is the end of the sleep phase, which brings us to the end of our game for today. For the post-game debrief, which we're going to do the absolute shortest version of right now on camera, and then can do anything else that we'd like afterwards, we are going to move out of the magic circle together with a couple of prompts. Now, I would like to ask each of you to say very briefly, just like one sentence, right? What is one thing that you admire about your character that you would like to take with you? And what is one thing you dislike about your character that you would like to leave behind?
I admire that Kian looks for ways to help within the structure. I dislike, and so does Kian, the intense apathy that he feels at all times.
Yeah, that's fair. Who'd like to go next?
I like that 4 was willing to like go for it. Like being naive isn't an excuse. It was just once the veil got lifted, they went for it because there's what's there to lose? Like that you haven't already lost kind of deal. And what I dislike about 4 is how rash they were about it. I think it's in going for it, in engaging in radical acts of rebellion. That doesn't mean recklessness.
Okay. Who would like to go next?
I like that Callahan is finally starting to learn a little bit, and also that he was willing to reach out to his mom, which I'm not nearly as good at myself. Um, um, I am not nearly so fond of what I guess is ultimately self-hate. You meet somebody who's just like you, and boy, do they grate on your nerves.
Mm, mm, mm. Real. Hmm. I I like that Kiash uh, did not toe the line and refuses to forget uh, while trying to skirt the line as much as possible. I dislike the fact that uh, he is. I don't think it's his fault that he is depressed, but I dislike the fact that I don't know if this is Kiash or me, but I immediately try to make a reason for the mess, in that, like, hey, maybe it's covering a camera, or give some purpose to the mess, because a mess is very indicative of the internal state of a person's mind. And that is honestly something that I would like to move past, as both Adi and Kyash. So, yeah.
For my part, I obviously don't like almost anything I do in this role. It's really hard to think of anything today that I did that I would want to take with me. And everything is something I'd like to discard. What I will say is, to not cop out, I like the directness and competence of the stranger that I portrayed, that was supervising 4. However creepy they might be within that, they were very effective. I'd like to be effective in what I do. What I'd like to discard is a bit of a repetition from the last session. The way that you play the game as Big Brother by design, and this is something I'm endorsing in terms of people wanting to play this game, you enjoy it. There's a part of you that likes tracking the things you need to track and finding ways to make your toys work. And that is on purpose, because that is what actual autocrats feel. I don't like liking that, and I don't like it very much. I hate it, generally speaking. I enjoy the experience of playing the game, but I hate the things that I do through these characters. But even within that, and even coming at this knowing all of that, there is a part of that, of being effective at it, that I enjoy. And I'd like to leave that behind and not have that be something that seeps in any way into my real life. That is all the de-rolling that we're going to do today. The interrogation we will get to next time. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.